Hello to you, hello to you. I am ASMR Weetle, and welcome to another video where I continue to tell you about Norway. Remember, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy me telling you about this, just click the like button and remember to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, I hope you're having an excellent day, really. I hope you're calm, relaxed, happy, and you feel good and right on the inside. I'm probably not going to say that enough times. So today I will tell you about Norway. I will tell you more about Norway. The previous video became very politically focused. I'll tell you one more political thing before I move on to other things. Norway is not actually officially a member of the European Union because Norway voted no to it twice in 1972 and 1992, I think. I think that was the yes, and it voted no to it twice. There are a lot of people who in Norway were pro the European Union, but there are a lot of people who are against too. There are reasons for this. There are many reasons. Norway is sort of, Norway is committed to the European Union through a deal, but we are not officially a member, and the reason why a majority voted no, I think, is because Norway has a very complicated past history with unions and other countries trying to influence and rule us. We were ruled by Denmark for 400 years, from the 14th to the 19th century, and then we were in a forced union with Sweden from 1814 to 1905, and where Sweden was the dominant partner of the union. Sure, we had a little more independence when under Denmark, but Sweden still had a lot to say. And when finally we got independence, but when during Second World War the Germans invaded us and ruled us for 5 years. So I think Norway has been a little fed up with unions and other bodies from outside influence us. And I think that has affected why a majority of Norwegians have voted no to the European Union. But there are a lot of people in Norway who are positive to the European Union too, and who want us to join. So I think there is almost an even divide here. Just to be clear, some people think it could benefit us, but there hasn't really been that much debate about it in the recent decades, because now we have the deal anyway, which makes us sort of committed to the EU, even though we're not officially a part of it. So people haven't really talked about it. I guess it's sort of the closest thing we came to a compromise of sorts between the two factions wanting to be a member or not. Anyway. I'll just be talking a little about Norwegian culture. Norway actually used to be a very poor country in the past, before we in the 1960s, 70s found the oil. The oil made Norway a wealthy country, and Norway have in the recent decades soared to become one of the countries with the highest living standards and one of the wealthiest countries. That does however not mean that every Norwegian is rich. That is not the case. I, for example, am not rich. I'm from the middle class. Now, however, just note what the middle class in Norway, it can vary from person to person, is probably better off than a lot of the middle class in other countries. Yeah. There are poor people in Norway too, who struggle. But there is often more public support in the systems in Norway than there is in some other countries. But that does not mean that it isn't difficult for some people at times. There is. But there is for some people. I know there are people who have struggled. I know that when we were younger, my parents struggled, and I know that, yeah. Now, as for me, I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. I do have what I need, so I think, and I think also the fact that most people in Norway aren't super poor off. It's extremist ideologies does not often gain super success in Norway, and the reason for that is because most people in Norway don't struggle that much, or living standards and their lives have in the recent decades improved because of the oil and us becoming a wealthy country. So you know, so that means that in other countries, in some other countries, it has gone in the fully opposite direction, where golden days are in the past. But in our country, our golden days are in the present, and the worst times are in the past. So if you go back a few decades, there was actually more political extremists than there is present. The political extremism has declined mostly. And the reason for that, in popularity for the most part, mostly. And the reason, because Norwegian lives have mostly improved. Most people have enough support to what we can live our lives and have good lives. But there are people who struggle too, especially now with the recent economic situation in the world. So don't think that there aren't people who don't struggle here too, because there is. As there is in any country. But Norway is probably still more well off in general than a lot of other countries. We've been lucky. We've been lucky, no doubt about it. No. Yeah. What was the next thing I want to... I guess I can talk about, as I mentioned in the previous video, we have a monarchy in Norway, a head of state, a ceremonial head of state, the king. The king is very popular and appreciated in Norway. The monarchy sort of become a symbol of our independence, because in 1905 the union with Sweden dissolved and we became a fully independent country, and thus the monarchy have become a very important symbol of that independence, and our king is very popular. So, as is the crown prince, I think. So the current king is King Harald, and then there is the crown prince, Prince Haakon, yeah, who will become king one day. And we also have the princess Ingrid Alexandra, who will one day later succeed Haakon and become queen. And she will be the first Norwegian queen in like a millennia or something, I think. I think there was, I'm not sure if, I haven't researched that part of Norwegian history so much. I think there might have been, I mean she will be the first reigning queen. I mean, we have a queen now, Queen Sonja, but she isn't a reigning queen, it's the king that is the primary monarchical figure. So Ingrid Alexandra will be the first queen to be the primary figure in a long time, or maybe even the first. I'm a little uncertain about that. It's possible there were primary queens back in the Viking age or something like that, but it's a long time ago. She will at least be the first primary queen in the modern age. Our current queen, Queen Sonja, who is married to King Harald, she is of course a queen, but it's the king who is the primary monarch, if you get what I mean. So yeah, but Ingrid Alexandra on the other hand will be the primary queen. Yeah, when she becomes queen one day, many decades from now, most likely. So yeah, I hope it's okay that I just sit back and sort of relax a little time, just so I feel a little calm and just a little relaxed myself too. I can also tell you that in Norwegian culture, the customs can be a little different. You can go around and say hello to people on the street if you wish, and most people will say hi back, but it's not a custom to go around in cities and towns and say hi to people you don't at all know. You do say hi to your neighbors, you say hi to people who are in your communities, but you don't go around and strike up random conversations with people you don't know at all. At least most ethical Norwegians don't do that. And a lot of Norwegians in general don't do that. And I think that means Norwegians can seem a little difficult to know to some foreigners and outsiders, because we're not as social as some other countries are. So if you sit on the bus, for example, you will note that there is very quiet on the bus. Some people will whisper to each other, talk to each other, but there won't be this mass chatting on the bus. often we want to be. People often spend time talking with their friends, and they can talk with their neighbors, but it does not go much beyond that. However, there is a custom that when you go hiking into the woods, you often say hi to random people you meet, but you generally don't do this in the cities or even in the suburbs. You can do it with neighbors and such, and you don't ask people too much about their lives if you don't know them at all, because Norwegians often get suspicious if people start asking a lot about their lives if they don't know them. It's okay if you're a friend or an associate, but not if you don't know them. No. And this can make Norwegians almost seem a little closed off to some outsiders, but if you get to know one Norwegian, if you get to attend a party with some Norwegians, or you get to know a Norwegian, Norwegians are very nice once you get to know them, but they can be more difficult to get to know often when perhaps it's usual for some other countries. I think this is common in Nordic countries again in general. Yeah. So in Norway, that's just how our customs are, really. It's just how the Norwegian society is, really. Yeah, you know, and it's not, yeah, so, yeah, it's just how it is. You will not, you know, in other countries you will often see people hugging each other on the street. Less common in Norway. People often don't show public affection that much. They can show a lot of affection in their private homes, but they will often not show that much affection in public. Sometimes people will give each other a small hug in public, but the public affection is, while it absolutely exists in Norway, is less common in Norway. It's just how Norway is, really. But we are a warm people on the inside, and you have to remember that we've been formed by a country that has very cold temperatures, and that's probably affected how we are a little as a culture too. You know. But we are very nice people once you get to know us, or most of us are, at least. But it's just, yeah. If you were to, for example, meet me, I have Asperger in addition, so, and on the street, for example, I'll just take an example, or when I go hiking, you will notice that I am just going. I don't like look people in the eye, and if you say hi to me, I will say hi back, but I will not really initiate the conversation. I will not say, I don't really necessarily say hi to other people, and that's because it makes me uncomfortable to try that, and it's not very common in Norway to always do it either. So, but if you say hi to me and you strike up a conversation, then I will respond and I will be nice because I appreciate it. But so, just to be aware, if you had gone past me in Norway, and I hadn't say hello, it isn't because I'm a rude person. It's because I have, for the first, I have Asperger's, and of course the Norwegians are customs are so what it just is like that. I'm really nice if you want to chat with me. I will be really nice. Now, of course, the chance of me meeting anyone who watch my videos in public is not great. So that will not happen probably. But this was an example to just show you the customs and how I am as a person. Yeah. So, yeah. It's really not about me being an offensive person or being rude. It's just how the customs are, and it's just because it's uncomfortable to me to just strike up a conversation with a stranger. To me that is very difficult, and it's also, yeah, I'm not a type of person who does that. No, but I'm really kind when you talk with me. I am usually very polite and kind. I try to be, and I am pretty much always kind and polite, really. I hope, yeah. So, yeah. So yeah. So I hope I told you a little about Norway and how we Norwegians are as a people. We are really nice people, I think, most of us, anyway. Yeah, you know, Norwegian's a unique country with its unique customs and cultures too. And I'll of course tell you more about that in relation to Constitution Day and something. Maybe I'll even film a small scene from my home at Constitution Day. I am considering it, we'll see. You know, and I will probably be wearing a dress and tie and such for that video, because it's Constitution Day, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy me just telling you a little about Norwegians and Norway. Yeah. Norwegians are generally proud of their country. They mightn't show it that much in everyday life, but we do show it on Constitution Day with national songs and the children parade and the King's Guard sort of doing a parade, and just people flagging with waving with the flags like this, you know, and just singing and being joyous, celebrating the nation. Yeah. So we are proud of a country, especially on Constitution Day. Norwegians are generally a calmer people, when in some other countries you don't necessarily see that display of public affection and public emotions as we do in some more southern countries. We are more the northerners, and so we are calmer, so we will see the towns of Norway often be a little calmer. The one place where things have a tendency to happen a little more are in the big cities, like in the capital and things like that, you know. In the capital you may see more scenes and events when you see in the smaller towns and cities. But in the actually this is most common in the capital. In a later video I will be telling you more about the legends and myths of Norway, like the monk of the Nidarosdomen. I will be telling you about him and about fairy tales. Yeah, so that will also be very fun. And perhaps about a creature called for Holdra as well, another fairy tale character of Norwegian folklore and myths. And I'll be telling you and about trolls and everything like that. So I'm not sure there is that much more I can think of to tell of Norway now. We're a country with a rich history and culture, like any country, and you know. And we are, of course, I can add this, we love to hike. Norwegians love skiing and hiking. I do not love to ski, admittedly, but a lot of Norwegians like to ski in the winter, go skiing. But in the spring and summer, we often go hiking. And hiking is not just a hobby in Norway, it's really, a lot of people go and hike in Norway. So there's so much of it, we even have our own hiking chocolate, the quick lunch, which I have presented in chocolate videos. Hiking is very popular in Norway. So go hiking, and you'll see a lot of Norwegians do that. And if you hike, you can actually say hello to completely random people, because that is custom to do if you're in the far woods and forests. It is custom to say hi to people when you go and hike. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I hope this told you a little more about Norway and our culture and things about Norway. Really, there is so much I could tell about Norway, but I can't cover it all in one video, or in 2 videos even. So I just hope you appreciate me telling you this. Yeah. I hope you have a rich and blessed day, really. I do. Yeah. And I hope you appreciate me telling you about Norway. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and have a great day. And I hope you appreciate this video. And the next video about Norway, I will tell more about the Norwegian legends and myths of Norway. Thank you so much for watching.